For exercise A on the stop block, the only thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking this shape, this top and front view, and turning it into an isometric drawing here. There are no dimensions written on the drawing, therefore you are going to have to use your dividers to transfer the dimensions. So first things first, we're going to extend our corners so that we can create our glass box, creating our total height, our total width, and our total depth. Okay, so our total width is the entire length across. So I'm going to set my dividers to that dimension, and notice that I keep letting go of one of the two legs, and that's because I want to see if it's springing open or trying to close again. You want to make sure that it's at exactly that dimension before you create a tiny little pinhole to represent your measurement. The depth is from the very front of the object to the very back of the object. So once again, I'm going to set my dividers. Okay, and that goes on the right side. Uh-oh, I think I wiggled. I'm going to double check before I do anything with that. Nope, I'm good. I'm good. And I'm going to extend that up. Okay, for the height, we kind of have a problem that we don't have a continuous line, and you do not, I repeat, you do not want to just guess, because even if you're slightly angled, that's going to cause a problem. So I'm just going to extend this line down so that I can make sure that when I'm taking my height measurement that I am staying along this same vertical line and not going off to the side a little bit, because that would extend the measurement even just a little bit, but close enough is not an acceptable measurement in a precision drafting class. So we're going to make sure that it's exactly right. So now that I have that total height, I'm going to put it here, and I'm going to create the rest of my glass box. If you're concerned about having these really long lines in the way, you can just kind of erase them down a wee bit. Don't get too close. You want to make sure that you have a little bit of extension going on. All right. So we have our total height, width, and depth. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to kind of create this Z shape. Okay, I like to create the longest shape possible from the get-go. So I'm going to start off by taking this height, and I'm working from point A out. I'm going to take that measurement, put it up here, double check that I didn't move. Okay. Okay. And everything you see me doing, I'm starting off with construction weight lines. So the next thing I'm going to do along that edge is I'm going to take the dimension from here. Okay. From the bottom side, I'm going to grab this dimension. Okay. And then finally from the far side, I'm going to grab this thickness. It's important when you're drafting to be methodical about how you're taking your measurements and keeping track of where you're trying to end up. You know where you're trying to head with these. So I'm putting some of these dimensions down. Okay. So I have my initial Z shape, and all I have left is this bizarre triangular wedge that goes in this back corner. Now I can decide if I want to go in and darken in some lines that I know, but I'm going to stick kind of close to the front because I don't want to accidentally darken in something I'm going to have to go back and erase. It's easier to erase construction lines than it is to erase object lines. And so I'm just trying to keep track of what I'm going to need to keep and what needs to be added to. All right. It's amazing how quickly these can come together once you start getting into a rhythm of it. All right. So again, the last thing I need to do is find this wedge. I'm going to be measuring along the back side of this line. Okay, so I'm going to come from this back corner, take that measurement, place it here. Back to my 5H. Okay. Then I'm going to take this dimension and I'm going to place it in 2 locations. Okay, there's method to my madness here. I'll just stick to 1. Because if you take the time to measure it once correctly, you're not going to have to measure again. How'd I need to do that? Because that's the triangle wedge. Okay, and there is your stop block.